This is David Ducker coming back at you, and today I'm going to be talking about team dynamics or party dynamics. I often decry the standard party roles, where the party has to have a fighter, a cleric, a thief, and a wizard, because that is trash. If you're doing it mechanically, it's a terrible idea, and I'll do another video on that. But what is good is to make each character fulfill a unique and separate role in the story, regardless of their class. I just did a video on lone wolf players and how detrimental they can be to the game, and a couple ways to deal with that. But I thought let's do the opposite now and look at people who aren't the lone wolf and how you can still be unique as a member of a team and as a group. So right off the bat, first example that springs to mind, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Get some turtle power in here. Heroes on a half shell, all that good stuff. Look at the team dynamic. You've got the leader, Leonardo. You've got the anti-hero, or the Lancer, in Raphael. Now, he's not quite a lone wolf. He has lone wolf tendencies, but he's still a member of the team. He still cares about them. They still care about him. So that's what can really separate an anti-hero like Raphael, like Hawkeye from the Avengers, like Dinobot from Beast Wars, like Batman from the Justice League. What can really separate them from just a lone wolf who's just going to show up and then he's going to leave again like a guest star. You don't want to be a recurring guest star. You want to be a real member of the main cast in your game. So we got the leader, the Lancer. Michelangelo, of course, the comic relief. You can always have some comic relief in there. A light-hearted character is great. And you can contrast usually against the Lancer because they'll be the most serious, dour character usually. Although the leader can be serious as well. And then you've got Donatello. I couldn't remember his name for a minute. Donatello is the brains of the operation. So he's much more cool, logical. He's also a great foil for the Lancer because of that. The Lancer is very hot-tempered, fiery. The brains, he's going to be much more subdued, logical, Mr. Spock style. You don't have to go full Spock, but get a little contrast in there. And then you can look at other teams. Let's look at Fantastic Four. Reed Richards, again, you get the leader. Human Torch, again, you get the Lancer. Invisible Woman, now she is the heart and soul of the group. She keeps them together. The team mom, although you can be a team dad just as easily. So you're there to quell disputes between the Lancer and everybody else. You're there to quell disputes between the atheist and the priest. If you got like a sci-fi game, that could very well happen. I played a priest in a sci-fi game. It was awesome, but I did encounter some atheists. And we needed that kind of team mom to calm it down or remind everybody that we're still a team and we can disagree on some things, but that doesn't mean we don't love each other. And then look at, The Thing. It's clobbering time. Look at The Thing. He is a great example of this big, boisterous bruiser character, and he really contrasts against the brains of the team as well. In this case, that would be actually Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. You could say he's also kind of the brains as well as being the leader. He's a very deep character. So The Thing, you get under this impulse, this confidence. He can walk in and he knows he's the man about town. He can deal with whatever's going to go on. He can protect other people where other people can't. That's just his personality type. It might not even be true, but that's his personality. So you can tap into all these great archetypes as your character and say, where am I going to fit in into the team? And say, I'm going to be the anti-hero, or I'm going to be, the brains, or whatever you're going to be. We could run it down with I don't think there's anything I missed. You could get like a fast-talking, slick rogue type character in there, a con man, uh, and give him some contrast because he's got the mouth. Contrast him against the brain, and contrast him again against the brawn, the muscle. Um, so you got I don't think any other archetypes. You can get the like fast style ninja character in there, and you could even give them kind of a very impulsive kind of gimmick. You might have to work to separate them from the anti-hero, because the anti-hero is often hot-headed. But maybe someone who just believes that quick action is the best action, and they're just impulsive, just by training to be impulsive. And contrast them against the brain, who tends to think about what he's doing, and contrast against the brawn physically, because this will be a guy who can strike with precision and go in for those critical hits or called shots, whereas the brawn is just he's just gonna try to hit the guy, and he's got low accuracy but high base damage and no crits. So you can contrast mechanically as well as in all your descriptions. So those are some great team dynamics. You got 6 people sitting down at the table, so right off the bat that this should be a story dealing with 6 main protagonists, coming in as a team. You're not playing an all-star team of lone wolves. You're not playing the Justice League where they all have their own comics. You're not playing as the Avengers where they all have their own movies and then they're just brought together for this one deal. Although, you could do that style of game. It's not too far removed. But I always encourage people, really push it for a team effort. And forge the team. So at the start, maybe they are the Avengers. They've been brought together for a reason. But by the end of the campaign, they should damn well be the Three Musketeers. They should be the merry men of Robin Hood. So you can get a great team evolution in their story and their dynamic by bringing them together as strangers and then slowly forging them into this. But it's always a good idea when you're making your character, think about down the road, because usually you're investing in a longer campaign. You're going to be dealing with this character in his shoes for like 400 hours, 200 to 600 hours, something like that. That's a long time. It's a lot of investment. So do some prep up front and say to yourself, okay, well, I've got a character who will be fun to play for 4 sessions. What can I do to make sure that character is still as much fun to play, when we're at 400 hours instead of 4 sessions? Where can I evolve him to? What niche is he going to fill in the story? Not the mechanics, but the story. So I'm not really stepping on anybody's toes. Because if you get in there and you got 2 big, boisterous bruisers, they can step on each other's toes at first, but later, they could form an even tighter tag team than the rest of the group. Or they could branch off, and one bruiser gets a little smarter, and one bruiser gets a little more leadership role thrust upon him. So you start the same and you end different, or you start the same and you get even more the same, and you just get, a real tag team where it's hard to tell them apart even. Because that can be a lot of fun. And you get to decide which way you want to do it. So if one way is more fun, do that. If the other way is more fun, do that. So some of it is long-term planning, but it depends a lot on the campaign style. If you're just a one-shot campaign, you got to decide, are we the Fantastic Four, or are we the Teen Titans where everybody's different? Are we going to start as one and end up as the other? Do we have enough time to do that? So really think about it beforehand. Think about your character in a literary sense, not in a mechanical sense, and get these party dynamics developed, or at least plan to develop them. And I always do this in private, where I say, okay, well, this character is going to become the heart and the leader of the group. Those are his two big roles. So if somebody else comes in as the heart, I'm going to push my leadership angle. If somebody else comes in as the leader, I'm going to push my heart angle. Planeteer style. Mate, the power of heart, which is, in fact, the best of all powers. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Leave any comments below about techniques you found to forge this team, literary techniques, game planning techniques, maybe even mechanical techniques, some party-based feats. I'd love to hear anecdotes, but when you played, 6 lone wolves in that one pack, so the GM had to herd you around like he was herding cats, which can be a special delivery. GM burnout. That can really just burn someone with crisp if you're trying to herd 6 lone wolves together. But I'd love to hear your anecdotes. It's far more enjoyable for me than likes or view count is the comments. But those are my thoughts on party dynamics. I'm going to sign out now. Everybody have a good day in YouTube. Hey, all.